Hello there!
Howdy.
Jim and Lucy Wood show, and he's still trying to make the Texas accent.
I am, y'all.
Okay.
Ukrainian Texas.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Okay, so today we have very interesting subject. We're talking about copycats, and talking about, do you listen to yourself, or are you copying some stereotypes that society put on us, or family members, or someone else, or a spouse, you know?
Well, that's true.
It's kind of difficult.
I mean, not everybody's lucky enough or fortunate enough to have someone like Lucy.
Yeah.
I mean, when she wants me to do something that I haven't done yet, she'll say, "Will you do it, please?" And that always gets my attention, okay?
And this please always
The
works.
please always works, okay? So, we all have our stereotypes that we based upon our little biases that we created ourselves. And one of them is that Lucy probably never noticed it, but every once in a while, I will, if I forget to put something away, or we have a division of chores at the house, and if I didn't do my part on a given day and I do it the next day or something, or if just something minuscule that I'll do, I will make a joke about it. And the joke is easing my way. It's not really funny, but it's easing my way into what I consider to be something that's an embarrassment. But the problem is that I've embellished it. I made it bigger than it needed to be, or I made an attention seeker out of it that didn't require to need to be either. And we do that to ourselves, is that as we're rising, we tend to press the other finger. We think there's other people, or an employer, or a significant other, spouse, or someone is actually doing it to us, but generally, it's in my experience that we're doing it to ourselves. And we have to stop it. I don't want to tell you what you have to do, but it might be in your best interest to actually stop it. And one of the easiest things to do is don't be making a mistake of saying, well, you know what, look at that. I left the toothpaste, the top off the toothpaste again, and it dried out. Well, you don't need to really say it to you. Just put the top back on, or buy some new toothpaste, or buy one for her, buy one for yourself, or something. You don't have to do that, because that little negative reinforcement you gave yourself is actually bigger than you realize. You know, when you have a can of paint and you're trying to open the can of paint, it's going to be difficult. It's designed to be on the can of paint tightly so that it doesn't dry out. But when you try to you got the pliers, you got the screwdriver rather.
Yeah.
I get the pliers and the screwdrivers mixed up sometimes. Okay. Lucy is.
And then he called me.
She's the mechanic in our family, all right? I have to go look at a YouTube video to see how to use a screwdriver. But I can write a book about it. Bam.
And talk about it for an hour.
I can talk about it an hour or two. But you know, when you get the can of paint and you want to get things done, you get the screwdriver and you're trying to pry the lid open. You're not going to usually get it the first time, hardly ever. But you have to go around it and pry it, and go around it and pry it, and you're trying to find a little bit of leverage so you can get somewhere underneath the lid and lift the entire thing up. Well, that's what happens to us when we're doing something that is an embarrassment for us, but we get so fatigued with this habit over the years that we don't realize that we're actually bringing ourselves down all the time. And we can't wait. You know, I used to tell Lucy, I said, be sure to tell Misha that I did this or did that. And it was actually maybe humorous, but really it didn't require being said. It was something to lower our expectations of expectancy in ourselves. So don't beat yourself down. Eliminate those movements. Some of them are human, but most of them are things you by design. You have by design created.
Yes. This little thing that you push in yourself, and you just trying to set the right picture and follow it, and that right picture you set in your mind, and not necessarily you need to do it that way or this way, or right now, you can do it later. And most importantly, when you think about little things, how you manage to do it with little things, then it comes into bigger things. How we copy stereotypes that society and family members put on us. How young people getting upset because they ask constantly, are you married finally? Do you have kids finally? It's none of their business. It's your personal, okay? It's your personal how and when and if you will gonna get to that. It's your personal business. Do what you want, what you decide is right. Now, we're not talking about moral things and the law. There are certain set of rules that every one of us needs to follow. But the things that are just stereotypes and that little things like when you're going to unload a dishwasher, he does it. Yeah, those are things that you
I do unload the dishwasher. In fact, I'm getting so good at it, is that when I get up before Lucy now, I actually do it the first thing in the morning just about, rather than waiting until dinner time to do it. Yeah, that's a big deal in our house.
It's surprising. I think some people, what they do, they use clean dishes right from dishwasher instead of putting it into the cupboards and on shelves and use it from there and then put dirty dishes all around the kitchen. Yeah, some people are messy like that, but who cares?
I don't recall doing that.
No, we don't do it.
Okay.
But I know people who do, okay? Not us. Anyway, whatever you decide is right for you, if it's not hurting anybody else, it's your right to do it your way. It's your life. It's your dream you're following, and it's your set of rules you're set up in order to achieve your dream and your goals.
That's true. But you want to recognize is that you do have to develop some discipline. You know, I read a book years ago where the guy said, he said procrastination is underrated. He was the guy where all of his friends had gone on this Grand Canyon excursion 20 plus years earlier, and they had all become the antithesis of their parents. They decided their parents at one time had boring jobs, a boring life, and going to work, coming home, on the lawn, and so on. They didn't want to do that. 20 plus years later on, it was interesting to see how they had all really become their parents. But this one guy was the exception. He was even, I won't say worse, but he was even more of the procrastinator than he was 20 years earlier. He was still living out back someplace in a tent on somebody's property. He was still just lounging through his day doing almost nothing. That's wonderful if that works for him. But you don't have to fall in that trap. We all want to be producers. We all want to do something in life that really matters at the end of the day. We feel like that. We don't necessarily need to have something to check off, but it makes me feel good knowing that we have a list of things that at least Lucy expects from me, I expect from her, and I have a personal list for business and personal things for myself. A few minutes ago, before we started this video, I was on the floor and I was doing my yoga, and I got started late in the day, but I was doing my yoga and I was doing my push-ups and so on, and I was doing more of my stretching. Lucy had brought me a bottle of water with some lemon and lime in it to keep me hydrated during the day, healthy-wise, so I don't drink too many sodas. There's a lot of things you can do. Now, do I want to go in right now and eat a pizza or hamburger or something right now? I would love to do that. But you know what? I also love looking a certain way when I'm, forgive me, I'm, naked in the shower. I want to, forgive me.
Oh, so shower matters most now, okay?
I want to look a certain way. And when Lucy look at me, I want her to say, hubba, hubba, hubba. Okay, so we all have to have some discipline in our life. That's the point. Some discipline that makes us do things that we know we need to be done.
Okay, I think we need to go now.
We have to go.
Just start talking about subject that's getting motivated.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're gonna leave you to yourself, and we want you to listen to yourself, not to stereotypes, not to somebody else, not to some general picture that you created because you read somewhere that it's right. You should have your own system, and this is how you get to the top.
But get up. You're stuck right now. You're fearful, and we have anxiety for a very good reason. And I'm not going to tell you that it's easy for us, any of us, to do these things, but we have to survive, and we have to do more than survive. We have to set an example of thriving. This is your time. Be a champion.
Take care.